So hi guys, hi everyone. I am Bala. This is the first video I am making and I am very happy to do it. So in this channel we are going to see about complete programming languages. I'm including myself in the learning pathway because I am also not a expert in programming language. The purpose of making these videos is teaching is the best way of learning. I want to make use of my learnings to others as well. And as a team we will learn from basic to advanced level of programming languages. So in this learning path we are going to start with C program, and going on we will learn C++, HTML, CSS, Java, JavaScript, Python and so on, and so many things. But before that we need to make sure that our basic knowledge is very strong. So I plan to start with C program. Okay, if you learn C first, then all the programming languages looks easier when you start to learn them. As I mentioned earlier, the purpose of making these videos is only learning, and want my learning to be useful to others. So if you like the video, then like it. If you want to join the learning path with me, then subscribe it, and please comment if I made any error or if you know any better way of explaining the content. Before diving into C, uh, we will discuss the basic of programming language. Okay, so what are programming languages? A programming language is developed to instruct the computer or the machine to perform the desired activity. The primary role of programming language is to control the device or instruct specific algorithm. So when the computer has invented, we are giving the instructions to execute our task. For giving instruction to the computer, uh, we need to communicate with it. So how we are communicating with others? By several languages out there, example English, French or Japanese. But the processor in the computer will understand only one language, that is zeros and ones. When we want to give some instruction to computer, we need to communicate with the language which the processor can understand. It is zeros and one. Okay, so that is the programming language. A programming language is developed to instruct the computer to uh, perform the task which we are giving. And nowadays the world has over 9,000 programming languages, and every year a new programming language is introduced. So now look at the types of programming languages. If you Google it, there is so many types, the Google will show you. But for now you will just stick with low level and high level language. Machine language, it is zeros and ones, which is understood by the processor only. Assembly language is the next level of machine language. High level language is the language which we are using now, C, C++, Java and so many. So machine language and assembly language is the low level languages, and C, C++ and Java are the high level languages. So look at the examples, now you can understand better. Where machine language is zeros and ones, understood only by the computer, and assembly language is the next upgrade. It is also not understood by humans. But look at the high level language, it is readable by humans but not by the computer processor. So for that purpose we need to do compilation or interpretation. So see here also the assembly language needs to turn as machine language, then only the processor can understand, so that we are using assembler. So what is assembler? See, an assembler is a program that takes basic computer instruction and converts them into a machine language, zeros and ones, that the computer's processor can use to perform its basic operation. So assembler is also a program which can change assembly language into a machine language to execute it. That's it. Understand it in a simple way. So you can see assembly language is typically like this, AAD2. It will not be understood by the processor, but when it goes under assembler and change as machine language, then the processor can understand, then the execution process will take on. So that is assembler. And then what is compiler? A compiler is a special program that translates a programming language's source code into machine code, bytecode or another programming language. The source code is typically written in high level human readable language such as C, Java, C++. So the compiler is a program which can change whole file to the object file as machine code zeros and one, and then run the code so that the processor can understand what is the instruction given and executes it. So it is usable for high level languages. So now check it. Interpreter. An interpreter directly executes instruction written in a programming or scripting language without previously converting them into an object code or machine code. So what's the difference of interpreter and compiler? Interpreter is a program that will change one by one code while running the code, change into a machine language and executes the program, while as compiler will change whole source code into a machine code and then execute it. So there is a difference between a compiler and an interpreter. While compiler is uh, much more faster than this interpreter. Now see the structure of the code. Programming language. It is not only for C programming languages, but it will suitable for all other languages as well. It is a basic structure. Okay, so source code is the one which you are writing in the tool to execute the task, and preprocessor is the one which is present in the tool. It will check the code which you are writing in the code, and then it will compile, and then it will check for syntax error. So syntax error means I will explain it in upcoming videos, but just understand it as a syntax. So many syntax are there for so many programming languages out there. Each programming language is having different syntax. So if there is any syntax error found, then the process will come directly to the source code, and the process will never execute. It will stop. But there is no source code error, then no syntax error, then it will come to assembler, and then it will goes to system libraries, then execute the program. While execution, if it is found some logic or data error, that means the error you made while typing your code. If there is yes, then again it goes to source code and the process will never execute. But if there is no error, then only the process will execute the output. So next thing is C program. C program is created by Dennis Ritchie at 1972. So the reason for the name C is just because the name of programming language which they used before C is basic, and they used to call it as B. So this C language is the next version of that basic language. So it is named as C. Why? Because in alphabet C is placed after B. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you, and if you like the video, please like, and if you want to join me in the learning path, please subscribe it, and thank you, guys.